Welcome to Press Pause Online. We created Press Pause to give people a space for some moments of quiet and calm in the middle of the day or at the beginning of a busy day. It's easy for us to be caught up in the flow of our lives, in routine or in busyness, and to lose contact with our bodies, our hearts and our minds, our deeper selves. So we're now taking this moment together to reconnect and give ourselves that space. So before we begin, I acknowledge with respect the traditional custodians of my country, land of the Budawang people of the Yuin Nation. And if you know the custodians of the land you're on, please say this. I pay my respects to the elders, past, present, and emerging, and am grateful for their past and ongoing care of this land. May we go about that task gently and lovingly together. So bringing ourselves now into this space, this here and now, finding a comfortable position in which to spend the next 20 or so minutes. It can be sitting or lying down, whatever is most comfortable. And let's take a kind of, take stock in a way of our state. How are we in this moment? Are we stressed? Are we relaxed? What are we bringing in to this space with us? Is there something bothering us? Something left undone? Or some project or problem we're in the middle of? Something we'll return to after meditation? Let's take a look and take a moment now to get in touch with what is actually happening in our bodies and minds right now. Feeling into the inner climate. Getting in touch like this is really important so that we can see and acknowledge the presence of worry, of stress, of tiredness, of pain, of sadness, of happiness, of relaxation, whatever may be occurring in our system right now. Just looking inward, acknowledging the presence of these experiences and these qualities. When we do this, we take them out of the unseen and into where we can begin to really experience our inner life in a conscious way. So where in the body are we holding feelings? Is there tension anywhere, or a sense of constriction, perhaps in the head or around the eyes, perhaps in the jaw or the face? Often we can hold tension without knowing it in the tiny muscles around our eyes and our mouth. Or perhaps in the throat, there might be a feeling of tension in the throat, a little pressure. Is there any tension in the shoulders, in the neck and the shoulders? Another place we can often find a lot of tension stored. If you find tension or constriction there, there's no need even to try to relax. Just bring your attention to that tension. Just allow it to be there. Allow it to be within your field of consciousness. Whatever is present in you now is perfectly okay. Just looking, encountering what is our experience in this moment. when we turn our gaze like this inwards, we might find a tension we didn't know we had. We might find energy we weren't fully aware of, a buzzing or a warmth. We could feel parts of us are numb or blocked, or that parts of us have a sense of flow and ease. Whatever you find, just bring your attention to it and rest. No need to change anything, no need to try to relax or to try to release anything. Simply being with whatever we encounter in ourselves. We may also find not just the inner landscape, qualities of our inner experience. We may also find sounds arising into the field of our experience, or smells or sensations. Whatever is meeting our senses, just resting our attention there and relaxing. Sound could be the birds in the garden outside, it could be traffic passing, it could be conversations in the rooms around us, it could be a ringing in our ears that's always there, or perhaps when you allow yourself to really see and feel what your experience is in this moment, you might find what is the most obvious to you is sensation, the feeling of the floor underneath your feet or your body, the temperature of the room, the sense of the air moving, breeze across your body, or some tingling in your feet and hands. Whatever sensations you become aware of as you lie or sit here, just allowing those sensations to occur. Just notice. Now you may also find thoughts arising in the mind. Perhaps you are thinking, I'm really relaxed, or I feel tension, or after this is over, I'm going to do this and that. I'm hungry, I'm tired. Whenever thought arises in your mind, do the same thing as we've been doing with the sensations, the sounds, and the feelings. Just allow whatever thought comes into your mind to be there. You can imagine, if you like, that the thought is something like a cloud just passing across the sky of your mind. You don't need to look into the nature of the cloud or inquire into its nature. You don't need to judge if it's good or bad, or think in terms of the past and the future. You can just see that thought as it arises in your mind like a cloud in the sky. Our thoughts may be about the past or the future, what we did before we came to press pause today, or what we'll do after. But thought itself, these thoughts, are always occurring right now, in this present moment. So see if you can let the sense of past and future rest, and just look directly at whatever is arising in your mind. Let the thought come up, be there, and relax around it. When we can allow a thought to arise and pass in our consciousness without having to play with it, stick to it, think about it, this is being in the moment. When we allow our experience to be just what it is, we may be surprised by what arises. We may be surprised that the sounds we hear are so loud, or we may be surprised that we have a feeling in our hands and feet that we're not usually aware of. We may be surprised how often the same thought arises in our mind. Whatever occurs in this space as we rest here with our experience is perfectly okay. There's no need to do anything with our experience. We are simply being here with ourselves. So allowing our mind to open around the present experience. Letting what comes come, letting what goes go. It does take a kind of trust that we don't need to be doing anything special or anything in particular, or that there is a right or a wrong way to be with ourselves. So trusting our own selves to allow our experience to be just as it is. When we trust like this and we let our attention go wherever it wants to go naturally, we are freeing our attention to respond to experience, to move simply and naturally. When we do this, you may experience a kind of relief or a deep ease and a sense of what it really means to be naturally awake to whatever is happening. The longer we rest here, the more we get used to this feeling of naturalness, of allowing whatever is arising to arise, and knowing there's no way to fail, to make a mistake, that whatever comes into the space here is welcome. Any thoughts like I'm not doing this right or I should be feeling more peaceful are extra thoughts, like the clouds that are just passing across the sky. So we just allow them to be there like everything else in our field of experience. And the ease we experience comes because this is our natural state. Open, present, accepting. We often find that our minds and our bodies can attune to this natural, easeful state and deepen into it in a way, into stillness and silence, into the stillness and silence that are always present underneath the experience of our daily lives. This is a very restful place, a place of wholeness and ease, where everything is allowed and everything is welcome. Now just allowing our eyes to gently open. Spend a few moments with your eyes softly focused, so not in full focus, but just softly focused, allowing the colors and the shapes in the room to emerge. So for now, not differentiating or seeing the objects clearly, but just experiencing this sense of a whole field of shapes and colors surrounding you, and a sense of space and softness of intimacy. Just resting a moment longer here, lingering in this space between our inner world and the outer world. Listening now to the sounds around you, feeling the sensation of the floor beneath your feet or your body, wriggling fingers and toes a little, and finally allowing the eyes to focus and to see the room. As you do this, see if you can retain a little sense of the openness, the acceptance and the wholeness we've been resting in as we emerge back into our day. Thank you for participating this week, and we hope to see you again next week. If you wish to talk to any of the Grief Care team members in the meantime, please call 0296466908 or email team@griefcare.com.au.